Today my topic is OB framework, organizational behavior framework. So we start with individual level and group level and organizational level. That we have three levels of organizational behavior. In individual level, we have covered job satisfaction, empowerment, and behaving ethically. It means that the ethical behavior of employees. So every organization, they have to forecast the individual's output and they match with the organizational overall productivity expected by the management. So here is that every organization, they want to check the job satisfaction of their employees and what is a measure that whether they are satisfied or not, the productivity offered by them, the attendance, and how they are participated in decision making, how they are giving suggestions to the top management or else the supervisors. That all leads to the job satisfaction of their employee. And at the same time, the company has to give a chance to empower themselves. So here we have a theory of McGregor's Y theory. If the people are the employees are related to the why, so that they are always focusing on themselves as well as for the organizational attainments. So here the thing that the ethical behavior of the employees has played a major role at workplace to promote the organization and to offer a good output of the organization. So these are the considerations in individual level. Apart from these things, we have another significance of individual level, that all the individuals are always focusing on their individual goals and every time they have to learn the new things or new technologies, new working methods, and the perception of individuals may take a good remarkable behavior and attitude, values and ethics, and the company has to give a chance to show or prove their creativity and then how they are motivated towards the organization. These are the considerable factors in the individual level. Whereas in group level, we have working with other colleagues and workforce diversity are the two important things in OB framework. Apart from this, how they are communicating with each other. If we want to working with others, the communication is only the base. So that if the working conditions and the communication between the co-workers or colleagues and superiors and subordinates is good, especially for the group level, they want to show the leadership style as well as how they are influencing the other people, how you are handling the conflicts, how you handle the stress among your employees or the group members or team members, and then how you are good for or well-being, how you are expecting the well-being of your co-workers. All these things come under your group level. So at workplace, every organization, they want to make the employees to work for diversity. Next, another level is organizational level. So here the company always expects the productivity from the employees and they want to give a chance to develop yourself. If the employees effectively develop and if they offer a good work to the organization and they improve the global competitive nature, and if they are promoting your industry or your company at a global scenario, so that they can create wonders in that particular organization as well as for the nation. But here these are all depends on the structure and design of the organization, the cultural aspects of the organization. What is our culture? Your culture may be a strong or may be a weak or it may a cross culture. It depends on the organization. So that at organizational level, you have to take or consider your organization is a small in globe, How you manage a small in a global level? That is an development of your employees. So what are the key theoretical frameworks for OB? We have basically three types of theoretical frameworks. That is the one behavioristic framework. In behavioristic framework, we have two conditions. One is classical conditioning, second one is operant conditioning. And second theory is cognitive framework. Third one is social learning framework. Social learning framework. In cognitive framework, cognitions precede behavior and constitute input into the person's thinking, perception, problem solving, and information processing. Whereas in social learning framework, the to understand the human behavior and their cognition and how they are handling different situations that we discuss in OB framework. So what is the concept of cognitive framework? Cognitive framework. So expectancy of human being. What we expect from the humans in the organization or in general society, what we are expecting. So every human, they have their own culture and they have their own behavior, their values and ethics. Based on those particular human traits, we are expecting something, as well as based on your qualification, based on your previous experience, based on association with the organization, your supervisor or else the company also expecting the same from you. That is a cognition of your employee towards you. Second one is the demand for the human being, how the demand has created for you. So the demand has created because of the requirement of your skills for the organization. If your skills are matched with the organization, it requires to the organization so that you have a huge demand. Third one is intention of the human being. So how you are allied with the organizational objective. What is your personal objective and organizational objective? How you match with your objectives with organizational objectives. So here the intention of human being is always to attaining their individual objectives and they want to work for organizational objective. In most of the cases, the humans are prioritizing their individual objectives rather than the organizational objective. But if you are working for the organization, if you are the member of the organization, you have to stick on organizational objectives rather than individual objectives. So we have another that Edward Tolman, who is giving more theories or more studies on learning, so that he has given that what are the particular consequences about different situations, how the learning consists of expectancy that a particular event or particular object or a particular task will lead you to a particular consequences. So that based on the expectancies of the organization, you have to offer, you have to give, or you have to reach the expectation of your management. Sometimes the supervisor have some expectancies on you. You have to reach that expectancies, right? Next one is a behavioristic framework. So here we have a great theory. Which is proposed by Ivan Pavlov and John B. Watson. So they insisted that it is advisable and fruitful to study the behavior of human being which is visible than studying the mind which is elusive in nature. The concept of behavioristic framework of an organizational behavior can be clearly explained with the help of stimulus and response. We simply called it as Ivan Pavlov's stimulus response theory. Stimulus response theory. In stimulus response theory, what happened is we have a dog and then we have a study on how the dog's behavior towards stimulus and response. So in this story, what happened is he studied how the dog is motivated or stimulated with a sound. a sound. So in that story, he keeps food at one place and then he ring a bell. So there is no response from the dog. And he sounded that plate and ring the bell, and which is watched by the dog, and then it comes to that particular place and eat that food. It's good. That is one stage. In second stage, what happened is whenever he sounds the ring, the dog will run and then eat the food. That is stage 2. And in stage 2, what happened is he rings, but he never offered a food for the dog, even though the dog runs to the same place. It is called a response. This theory is called a stimulus response theory. So what we learn here, if whatever the learning of a dog which behaves the same, it experiences in the past. That is a great theory given by the Ivan Pavlov. So further, some other behavioralists like Skinner developed this concept by considering the environmental consequences which leads to a certain behavior. Skinner advocates that a behavior is not the outcome of the stimulus alone, but is an outcome which also depends on contingent environmental consequences of a behavior. So here the Skinner has also followed the same principle, but the outcomes may be a different one. So he has to add contingent environmental and its consequences of the behavior of human beings. Next one is social cognitive framework. So the social cognitive theory is a framework which will give you a base to understand human behavior. So the social cognitive framework in organizational behavior states that the person and the external situations are interdependent with each other along with the behavior itself to determine the behavior. In simple words, along with the cognitive and external situation, the experiences faced through the relevant past events determines what a person becomes, and this will create an impact in subsequent behavior. In simple words, in social cognitive framework, we have to learn a continuous social messages or social responses based on your behavioral outcomes. So every time we have to shape our behavior based on the behavioral aspects which are experienced in the past. For example, if you do a mistake at a society or else in your open place, somebody will come and then warn you, so that for the next time you didn't do the same mistake at the same place. So what we learn here, the social cognition. So it is a wrong one. Even though if you are unaware of it, you will be learned by giving something by themselves. So you have to learn, and we have to know, if you repeat the same mistake at the same place, at the second time they will give a warning as well as they may scold you. It may be a possible one. So always the society will accept if you are perfect. So in social cognitive framework, we have to improve our behavioral patterns, and we have to show our personality with different situations that actually happen, and we learn in social cognitive framework. In organizational perspectives, we have different people, and then they have their own decisions and their own objectives, and they have their own intentions to work there. But here the thing is, you have to learn from the seniors, those who are working for 15 years or 10 years, and then based on their particular things, how to behave in the organization, and then what is the pros to the organizational members, what are the pros to the top management, how we will get the promotion based on your behavior. So it is a social concern. So if you have a social concern, definitely you have to shape your best behavior at the best. That is the framework of social cognition. And the next, we have 5 basic human capabilities as a part of social cognitive theory. Social cognitive theory. The first one is symbolizing. What is symbolizing? So it's simply, it is about the future action. It is about the future action. So simply it has people process visual experiences into cognitive models. Visual experiences, whatever we see directly, we can learn more. For example, how to drive, how to do a work. So you simply watch the other people's work, and then you will get the best. So it is called as symbolizing. Next one is forethought. Forethought. So what is forethought? Employees plan their actions. So what is your next plan? So how manner you have to offer a good work to your organization. So for example, if you take the Google Pichais, he has created his own action plan for the Google's growth. So he has to implement with their own actions. So it may be taking a good position for the Google. In previous days, Google is only the search engine, and then majority of the people they use it. But today the scene has different. Google has lost his search engine market. So we have different types of search engines. The most of the people they use different types of Bing search, Yahoo search. So we have different types of search engines. So obviously, what is our plan? That is very important for the organizational. Next one is observational. Every employee they have to observe the peers work, supervisors, and we have to consider high performers, how they are getting a position in the organization, how they are the best performer. So we have to observe, and then we take them as the reference group, and we have to apply for our work environment so that the consequences are good for us. Next one is self-regulatory. So how manner you have to regulate yourself. Employees self-regulate their actions by something internal standards. So here the standards are depend on the ethical concern of the employees as well as the self-values. Self-values, that is the most important thing in self-regulatory. And the next one is the self-reflective. Self-reflective. Employees reflect back on their actions. How did I do? Sometimes we don't know why we are doing like this, but we have to check it and perceptually determine how they believe they can successfully accomplish the task in the future given by the construct. Probably of the success between 0 to 100% is expected, but they may estimate it may be 100%, but it is not possible in all the cases. But once we did a mistake, it continues for a longer time. That impact is at a longer time. So better you don't do a mistake. If you have any queries or any doubts, you just ask the seniors, or else you approach your supervisor so that you don't have any mistakes in while doing your work. So that once you are facing a problem, that should continue for a longer some years. But if you are proven again with a good output or a new methodology, so that it will be entertained in your organization. So self-reflective is one of the key aspects in social cognitive theory. So most of the successful people, they are always facing the problems and finally they got success. We know very well the Newton, and then Louis Pasteur, and then again we have different types of people. Even you take Swami Vivekananda has some particular mistakes, then after that he has realized. And then we have Buddha. So if you take the Buddha story, Vasishtha story, so that we have several people, they have self-reflective, and then they want to create wonders in at the time of their failures. So success is the key, and then we can get the more information or more inputs or more things from failures rather than the successful people. So failures, if you are regularly a failure one, so that you have more inputs. So you identified the more mistakes, and then it will be helpful for the next one, the next coming one. So we have to think like that. Every time you have to think positively and then take the best, and then you don't do the mistakes which are already done by another person, so that there is no chance of self-reflective in your organization. It may be a possible one. Thank you very much.